Hi, my name is Kevin Ream. I'm Vice President and General Manager of Crownline Boats. And we're here for today's design video to talk about our exterior gel coat and our interior. These are things I like to say you can see, touch, and feel with your new Crownline boat. So please sit back and relax and enjoy the next few minutes while we talk about what we do, why we do it, and how we differ from our competition. Moving forward, let's go ahead and start talking about our upholstery in detail. Truth be told, I think this is an area of our company where we really shine and really differentiate ourselves from the competition. So I have in front of me a few items that I'd like to show and kind of explain to you in detail what we do, why we do it, and how come it's different from the competition. What we have here is a forward cushion from a 215 LS. It's an embroidered Crownline logo. It's the forward cushion in that bow section. And what I want to talk about is what we call the substrake. Okay? So first of all, the substrake is made out of a plastic or a composite material that's called Kelron. Now this is important because we switched over to this Kelron material about 4 or 5 years ago. And the reason is we switched away from PVC substrates. Most of our competition still use PVC substrates. These are more expensive. Why? Because they're less susceptible to temperature change. In cold weather environments, PVC is more subject to cracking. Kelron is more flexible and it can adjust to temperature changes, whether it's extreme heat or extreme cold, and it does so without cracking. So that's the first point I'd like to really make. We've moved away from PVC. Most of our competition still uses it. We use an upgraded Kelron plastic substrate. These cutouts are how the cushion is installed into a clip mechanism. You stick it into the deck area and push down, and the cushion is locked in place. If you ever need to replace that cushion, if it's torn, cut, something happens to it, you can pull the cushion up and pull it away, and you can replace just that cushion. Now that we went into detail about the substrates, let's take a deep dive look at our foam kits and why our foam is different than most of our competition. What I have in front of me is a foam kit that we use for any one of our seat bases. And what I mean by that, we use 3 inches of 70-pound closed cell foam and then a 1-inch pillow top. The cushion is actually manufactured in this format, pillow tops on top. Now let's take a look at what I call the leg roll. Anywhere you have a leg roll that's raised on the seat cushion, that is actually a 4.5-inch depth. So we have 3 inches of 70-pound closed cell foam and 1.5 inches of the pillow top. Now we've purchased some of our competitors' cushions, whether they're bow filler cushions or what have you, and we've actually cut them in half to see what our competitors are using. And the truth be told, we have not found anyone else that's using the same composite makeup that we are. If they use a 3-inch foam, they're using either 40 or 50-pound closed cell foam, not the higher quality 70. Or some of them are using a 2-and-2 mentality, but again, not to the same overall composition of what we do. Now here's an important way that you can tell whether our manufacturing process is working or not. When you go to a boat show and you sit down on that cushion, what you're actually going to feel on a Crownline versus the competition is a slightly stiffer cushion. Okay, now think about that. Because I've heard many times sitting on the boat show sidelines where people go, oh, this is a great boat and I love it. The cushion's a little bit harder, a little bit firmer than the other boat. What our customers don't realize is that over time, all foam kits, no matter how high the quality, will eventually compress and break down a little bit. By having an upgraded foam kit to begin with, over 6 months of use, 8 months of use, a season, 2 seasons, you'll have a mild breakdown in that foam kit, and our upholsteries over time become even more and more comfortable. Our competitors' cushions begin to bottom out because they haven't invested in the higher quality foam kits. Now this may sound simple, this may sound pretty self-explanatory, but the truth of the matter, there's a lot of cost in these foam kits, all right? In a 27-foot boat, like the one behind me, those foam kits and those upholstery, they make up about $5,500 of the cost. So if I'm going to cut a cost and I can take $200, $300, $400 out of that foam kit by cutting this down to 50-pound foam or cutting it down to 40-pound foam or cutting corners somewhere else, some manufacturers will do that, not a Crownline. Here's the key takeaway. Again, we use high-quality components, high-quality procedures, but over time, our upholsteries will actually get more and more comfortable without the cushions ever bottoming out. That's a big difference between Crownline and the competition. In my hand, I have a complete headrest design of one of our new pillow top bow leanbacks. And the reason I want to focus on this right now is just to talk about one other process and procedure we use when constructing our upholsteries to make sure they hold up over time in all kinds of elements. If you turn over this upholstery part, what you're going to see is that there's a cellophane wrap that runs all along the exterior edge of this cushion. Now, the truth be told, when I first looked at this 18 years ago, I thought that this was sloppy workmanship. I actually got on the people in the upholstery department about trimming that and making it a little bit tighter tolerance. It wasn't until about a week or two after me going out there every day that the supervisor came over and said, "Hey, come over, let me explain something to you. If you cut that cellophane too close to the edge, in hot temperatures, it can actually contract and pull away from the staples." The whole reason we do what we do is we take these foam kits and we wrap them in cellophane before we put the vinyl skins on them. It's an additional water barrier to keep your foam from ever being penetrated by water. And so the last thing you want to do is have that cellophane pull away from the staple edge and expose your foam to moisture. So this isn't sloppy workmanship. It's done, this trim edge is done on purpose to leave excess so that that cellophane, when it expands and contracts for temperature, doesn't pull away from the staple line and doesn't expose your foam kits to the elements. Let's see if we can bring this upholstery process and informational video all the way home. There's one more piece of upholstery I would like to show you and kind of explain a little bit of the design concept. Now this is a seat cushion off of the rear sun deck on any of our E-Series boats. It's on the flip-flop seat. It's actually the cushion at the very end right before the swim platform. Now if you turn it over, what I want to show you here, it's a small piece of additional what they call hydum. This is installed on that thin edge anywhere that it's mounted where it could potentially rub on the glass. And that's installed to protect the foam core from the glass and also make sure you never have a rubbing noise between those two like surfaces. But this foam core board also actually has some holes drilled in it. Now I want to talk about what those are. Those are actually weep holes. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, we've talked about the fact that we take our foam kits, we wrap them in cellophane, we then pull the vinyl skins over, we staple it through the edge, we trim them without trimming them too close to the edge. But what happens is if water ever penetrates the exterior skin, it can't get through the cellophane and the water migrates to both sides of the cushion, and eventually when it's sat on over time, the compression forces any moisture out through the weep holes. So it's by design to help any moisture that gets under the skin between the cellophane barrier and the external upholstery skin. If any moisture gets in between there, it's designed to allow that moisture to exit the cushion so it doesn't build up over time or have some kind of a mold or mildew buildup. This is by design a very high-tech system to make sure that fluids do not build up in your upholstery that could cause you any kind of a problem in the future. I get a lot of phone calls where people are at boat shows or in my office where people are asking, what is the weight of our vinyls? Okay, great question. Our base vinyls are 30 ounce. Our accent vinyls are 32 ounce. And our E29 and E30, we have what's called a soft touch vinyl, and those are 40 ounce vinyls. So most of your boats will come with 30 ounce base vinyls, 32 ounce accents. Your E29s and 30s are going to come with 40 ounce vinyls, the highest quality vinyl in the industry. Hopefully we've been able to answer all your questions and differentiate our upholsteries versus our competition. Again, the fundamental commitment to all of our customers is we never cut corners, we try to build the very best boat we can, and we try to deliver the very best product to you so it looks newer, longer, and you have more enjoyment in your ownership experience. Thanks a lot for your interest in Crownline, and we'll look forward to seeing you at the boat shows.